Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Jonah and the Pod. Today we have a very special guest. Honestly, I'm excited for this episode because this is the episode isn't long overdue, but this conversation is long overdue. I've been saying to this guy for probably a year now. Of I don't care if you hop on the podcast. I just want to hear your testimony because I've known you properly for about maybe five years.
5 years.
And I still don't know your testimony. And I know that I was there for a lot of it, but also I don't know his perspective on him. It is someone that I have discipled, have the privilege of discipling. It's someone that I have seen grow into a man, probably a better man than I. Yeah, no, I'm very excited for this episode. So everyone, please welcome Antoun.
Hello.
This is so weird. If you look back for 5 years, there was no way I'd see you on a podcast. Not even just me and you doing a podcast, but you're always a shy little guy.
I was so shy back then. 2018, man. 5 years. That's crazy.
Was it 2018?
I think so. Yeah, beginning or nearly middle.
That's wild. There are so many aspects that we can go down, but I'll do the standard. Tell us about yourself.
Okay.
What do you do in life? What are your aspirations? Anything that you...
I'm 18, recently turned. I just work and train Muay Thai. I work at my Uncle Matthew's store.
Try not to touch the mic. I don't know if there's sound there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
I work at my Uncle Matthew's store. I do Muay Thai. Honestly, that's about it. Go church, Graceway Church. That's literally my life. I don't do anything else.
Yeah. What's your uncle's store?
It's a fight store. So we sell martial art equipment. So martial art equipment, boxing, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, all that stuff.
How old are you?
18.
It's crazy. You turned 18 in June, literally 2 months ago.
I'm old.
It's wild.
I'm old.
So yeah, that's. I mean, you also like video games, and you said Muay Thai. You like the whole combat sports and everything.
Yeah, combat sports.
But yeah, that's I guess a decent overview. I was his youth leader for the longest time.
Very long time.
And now he's outside of youth. So now I don't even know what to call him. Just like a friend, I guess. It's not my youth kid anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to hear your story. I think we'll just get into it.
Okay. All right.
If you want to, again, I'll set the basis. You can start from. We'll go through your testimony. You can start from birth. You can start from yesterday, tomorrow, today. You can go as in depth as you like, or you can go as shallow as you like.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, whatever you say, whatever. Yeah.
All right. Cool. I'll start probably before I was born. My mum and my dad, I think they met overseas, and my mum and my dad got married. I think 4 months after knowing each other, so very early on.
Everybody.
Yeah, really. First off, my dad was very nice, kind of just a normal, a good figure kind of. Then when they got married, it's kind of went downhill quite a lot. He's very controlling. He's very I want to say verbally abusive maybe. He didn't really care much for my mum either. One time my mum fell down the stairs. I think she broke her leg, and my dad didn't pay no mind to it at all. He didn't care. Yeah, so that happened for a little bit. I was born, I think I was born 10 or 11 months after they got married. So basically, yeah. Nothing. I mean, I can't really remember much from then. The next thing I do remember is when I was 1, my house went on fire. I'm sure you've heard that before. So it was said to be air conditioning, or something wrong with the air conditioning. But my it was 1 a.m. and my dad had went out to fill his car with gas. That's what he said. And so because my dad, he he was like controlling, like I said, he would lock all the doors in the house, so my mom wasn't able to leave. But this one time, it's like, thank God, like the one time he went out and everything, and my house went on fire, the front door wasn't locked, so we luckily escaped and everything. And yeah, honestly, like it's actually crazy. I'm even alive right now.
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy actually.
Yeah, and yeah, so that happened, and then my mum and dad got a divorce, and then from there, I don't remember too much. I think probably earliest thing I remember, maybe age 4 or 5, was also after my parents got divorced, I had to go to my dad's house every Saturday. So once I think from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So 7 hours, I was at my dad's house every Saturday. From 4 or 5, I was just going to my dad's house. Same thing. I grew up in Tung Abbey Church. I was always there since birth, from memory as well. So I grew up in a Christian family. I've been there for since birth, like I said. So one time my mum went overseas for I think a month or 2, and my dad actually kidnapped me. I don't know if I've told you this. Yeah. So basically, because my mum was overseas, my dad, because I went to his house on a Saturday, my dad took me and he kept me there for a few days. And then Matthew, my uncle, one of his friends saw me with my dad, and they were like, what's going on here? Like, he shouldn't be with him, whatever. So he called the cops on my dad, and then the cops said they couldn't do anything because my mum was overseas, so my dad has authority. So I couldn't go with my grandparents. So I was with my dad for quite a while, for I think 1 or 2 months. And in that time, like, he took me out of school. He changed my schools, like all this stuff. I had to go with him to church. It was like a Catholic church. But eventually my mum came back, and the cops were like, do you want to stay with your dad or your mum? I just ran to my mum. I just wanted to be with my mum because it wasn't fun. Yeah. But that basically, I still had to go to my dad's house like every Saturday, 10 to 5. And I hated it every time. I couldn't stand it.
Well, what did you hate about it?
Everything. Just like, he was barely a dad. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes he would just leave me in a room for hours. Like, he wouldn't even look after me. He would take me like out to like shopping center sometimes. He'd maybe buy me some things, but like when it was at the house and like if we didn't go out, like I was either just in a room just watching TV for like 5 hours straight. Like, it was just so boring. It was like a bit verbally abusive as well. Like, he used to always scream at me, and I was like, what do you want me to do, right? Like, I'm like a 6-year-old. Like, I don't know, right?
Why do you think he wanted to like still have you if he didn't show much interest or care?
I'm not sure. Maybe just because I feel like he liked the authority. Maybe, I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean, I am still like, I think he's still like, he knew like I was his son. Like, he still look after me, but like not really.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, so I hated going there. And then basically, I think when I was 10 or 11, maybe 12. Yeah, so it was like 2010 to 2012. It's like I think 3 weeks back to back, because my grandpa used to take me to my dad's house. He used to live like 15 minutes away, and I literally cried on the way there, like 3 weeks back to back. And I was saying, and my grandpa was like, you know what, that's it. Like, I'm not taking you there anymore. Like, he swooped in. He's like, no, I'm not taking you anymore. That's it. I'm driving you home. And just message your dad. Just say like, oh, I can't make this week, whatever. And it's like this happened for like 5 or 6 weeks. And then my dad he sent me a message on, I got a message from my cousin on my dad's side. And the message said like, it said, your dad said he doesn't want to see you anymore and he never cared about you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then my cousin sent me a message a few hours later. He's like, oh, your dad said that, by the way. That wasn't me. I was like, oh, okay. Well, that happened, right? And just, yeah, like honestly, I didn't even care that much. I was happier living with my mom and my grandparents, my two uncles. I was happier with them, so I didn't mind it that much at all. But yeah, so during that time, my grandpa was basically my dad. Like he was the one who looked after me, everything, from what was it, 2010 to 2012 until 2018. So he taught me like, just like he helped me with homework, like everything, like all this stuff. He like was very strict on me, everything. So yeah, and then 2018 he passed away to cancer, not leukemia, to esophagus cancer, and it kind of spread. So that's when I was just like I don't know, like I don't have a dad. Like I've lost two dads now, you know. And then it was a bit of a weird place. But then, like I was still going to church every Sunday as well. I was still like I was reading every now and again. I was still praying, and then but I wasn't really like Christian. I was Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just one night, I think I was reading, and then I prayed, and I was like, "Wow!" Like I don't know, like the power of prayer is crazy.
Was this
after my grandpa passed? So yeah, I just prayed, and I was like my eyes just opened, like I don't know, like it's just crazy. And then it's from there, like kind of just went up, like it was mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you also came in as well. You came in a bit before my grandfather passed away.
Yeah, so you it was that year that you joined youth,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that was when I joined youth.
I think if I'm remembering correctly, I think it was your grandpa's funeral.
Yeah, my
Or
grandpa's
like a wake.
funeral.
Was
Yeah,
it his funeral?
I think it was the funeral. I think so.
That was genuinely that day was like the first time we hung out.
Yeah, we hung out. Yeah, it's so random. Yeah.
Like you and another youth leader like came over. We just played like Fortnite.
Yeah, we played Fortnite.
Yeah,
we watched The Incredibles 2, I think.
Actually,
Yeah.
All right. Don't remember that. That's so funny. So literally, that's funny. It all switched just then, like that time.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, it's crazy. And then, yeah, from there, kept going to church more often. I started to believe more. I started reading a lot more, praying a lot more. You were there to disciple me as well. Like, it's been going up from there, really. And honestly, like there was like the power of prayer and like my grandfather passing away, but like I contribute quite a lot of it to you as well, discipling me and everything. So yeah, no, it's very good. And then Tingabi kind of fell apart.
Yeah,
I
if
mean,
you guys have heard the podcast, you guys know what's happening. But
yeah. That happened, and then you and Jason went to Graceway, and then I didn't tag along.
Jason is sorry, just people don't know. Jason is another youth, like he was a youth kid of mine. Him and Antoun were like buddies.
Yeah, I known him since like 7 or something.
Yeah. Then Jason came with me to my new church. Because I literally said like either stay or find another church. Don't not go to a church. And then some people came with me. Or Jason came with me, and then Antoun was just.
I was. Honestly, I wasn't doing anything. Like I wasn't going to church. I wasn't reading, praying, nothing. It was kind of like just went down low key, and but then I started going to Graceway, and then I mean it's still like I was going every now and again, but I wasn't really like back up how I was. And then recently, actually, it was Graceway the camp.
Oh yeah.
That's when the topic was fear of God, and that hit.
Changed it.
That hit.
Right.
That like there was something about it. It's just the fear of God. Like it's something so special, and it's something like we should like. It's just crazy. Like God is so amazing, right? But yeah, it's just that, and that hit, and then from there, I kind of started reading more, praying more, everything, and since then it's been pretty good. I am where I am now, thank God. It's crazy to be honest. Yeah.
No, so you've you sort of skimmed over your grandpa.
I kind of did.
Grandpa passing a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool to see from literally you even said since your birth or since you were one or whatever, however old you were, like God's hand was over your life. You literally, like, that door was unlocked for a reason, right? It's crazy to think. And then throughout your whole life, since, I guess, was it, like you say that there was a moment where you actually, like, it all clicked, right? But since, I mean, until then, how was your life looking in, like, a Christian sense, like
but before when it clicked?
Yeah, before.
Okay. It wasn't great. Like I was going to church every now and again, Tingabi. I wasn't really reading, wasn't really praying. I was just existing. That was actually my mindset. Like, I'm just existing. Like, that's what I'm here for. Like, that's all I'm doing. But yeah, it's just, that's how it was. Like, during school as well, like I was a bit of a menace at school. Like, I didn't really do much work. I didn't really care. But yeah, like, how do I explain it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
That's all right.
Just cut this out. As I'm thinking.
We can cut this out.
I don't know. Like, I didn't feel God's presence with me during then. Like, I didn't feel him at all. I was sinning. I was doing all these bad things. He wasn't really with me. That's what I thought, at least.
Did you ever think about, like, the whole God thing and Christianity at all? Or was it just like a thing that you do on Sundays?
I thought of it like, see, I knew it was like the traditional Christian thing to do, but I didn't really pay like attention to it. I didn't really care for it. I was kind of just going, my family's going. I might as well just go as well, you know. Yeah. Like, I got to see my friends. I got to see Jason. That's basically. I didn't care for it at all.
So it was like it's like a fellowship sort of thing. Sundays was just like, I guess, seeing friends, but it didn't click until afterwards.
Afterwards.
Yeah. So I guess leading up to that, what you said, you really skimmed over it. So I want to dive a little bit deeper into it.
No, it's fine.
You're okay, but like,
yeah, I'm fine with it.
I know that because I've never met your dad and I didn't know him. I didn't realize it was like that late, like 12 years old, that he officially left. I thought it was much earlier, to be honest. I've never met him, all that stuff. But since that, you said your grandpa sort of came in and
stepped in,
and became your father figure.
Yeah.
From a terrible father to, like, I know your grandpa. He was such a good guy.
So good.
So from a father that did the bare minimum to a grandfather that actually put in time, where he didn't it wasn't his responsibility to do so, but he did that. That must have been a massive change for you, right?
Yeah. It was a big change, honestly.
So like how did that make? How were you feeling in that time? Did you even comprehend it? Did you understand what was happening, or was it just like a?
I don't remember too much from what happened, but from what I will say, even before kind of I stopped going to my dad, because I only saw my dad for 7 hours in a week. My grandpa was still teaching me from back then as well. Yeah. So he was still like, he was basically my father like the whole time. I wouldn't even consider my real dad like my real dad. Like my grandpa was my dad.
Yeah.
But so honestly, since even before that, like I stopped going to my dad completely. He's been there. And it's like it's crazy.
So did you have like that appreciation for that, like at that time, or is it just like looking back?
Not at the time, but definitely like after. After. Even a bit beforehand as well. Like, I was such a menace. Like, I didn't care at all for like school. My grandpa always just like, you gotta study, you gotta do this, that. Like, I didn't care, but like I just like looking back, like he just wanted the best for me, you know.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really care that much, but now it's like, yeah, I can see what he was trying to do. Like he's already had 4 kids, and then now he's just like he has another one on top. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, he like how it's like a 8-year difference, right, from you
Me
and your uncle.
yeah, Mark, my uncle. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 8 years where like he thought he was done
Yeah.
with your uncle, but then 8 years later he has like
He has
another
one basically. Yeah.
another child. Okay. So he was someone that was like looking after you, and I assume your grandmother as well.
My grandma as well.
your
Yeah,
mom.
of course.
Yeah. But your grandfather was that father figure that you're looking for, like that you needed, sort of, because everyone needs a father figure. So when he passed, what was like you sort of spoken about, but I want to get a bit deeper. What was the mentality? What was the thought process? What was like
when he passed? Ooh, I like I didn't, to be honest, I didn't feel like I lost my dad again, really. Like I did a bit, but I knew that like God was still there. Like God always had a plan. I knew that. Like I remember when it happened, I think, I don't know if I told you or you heard, and you sent me a message like, even though you've like these are like father figures, even whatever, God is still your father in your life. And I was like, you know what? Yeah,
you know,
like, yeah, that's right. Like you're not wrong. And yeah, like I always just, I don't know, like even though it happened, and God is like, he was always there. He was always in the back of my mind, at least, just like, you know, he's like looking over me as well. I'm like, you know what? It happened for a reason. Like there's no like.
So you were thinking that even before like Christianity and your relationship with God was a thing.
Yeah. So I was thinking of before. Maybe it did like start before then a bit. Like it was kind of like the lift off.
Yeah. Okay.
And then after it happened, it like skyrocketed.
Yeah.
So I'd probably say that's maybe when it started.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was like a lot of like from what it sounds, it seems like you were when your birth father left, you were like okay with it. Like obviously it would probably have sucked.
Yeah.
But you seem like it seems like you benefited more from him leaving because he was a negative father, right?
Yeah.
But then your grandfather took that position. But then when your grandfather left, obviously that sucked even more.
Yeah.
But it seems like you still had the confidence that it was going to be okay, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, basically.
That's pretty cool. I remember one of the youth times. It was like a few months after your grandpa passed.
Right.
But it was like the first time I saw you cry.
I do remember that.
You do remember that? And I was like, bro, what's happening? Because like we were just getting to know each other as well. Like like a few months of us having like a good relationship, and the way you cried was so funny. And it's bad to say, but it was like because you were so embarrassed of you crying.
Yeah.
But it was like we did communion.
Yeah, with the youth, the whole youth.
With youth.
Yeah.
We did communion, and then you started bawling your eyes out, and I was like, what?
Yeah, you know, it was well, everyone was about to eat, I think, or maybe we all finished eating, and then you started praying, and then while you were praying, I just started crying.
Yeah, it was that. So we ate, and then I think we did communion.
And then we prayed, and then just crying.
Yeah, well, somehow I'm bleeding, so that's good.
What? Oh, there you go.
How'd that happen?
Fair enough.
I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so is there more to your testimony that you want to speak about?
Oh, actually, I will say, I don't know, I forgot about this. Yeah. So during 2013 as well, so kind of a bit after I wasn't going to my father at all or anything, my mum got cancer, stage 3 breast cancer.
Oh wow, yeah.
So it was very intense. Like you don't know, like, is she gonna pass as well? And it's like I barely even knew myself. Like my family were trying to like keep it a bit of a secret from me because they were like, you know what I mean? Like it'd be pretty crazy. Like I wouldn't have either parent.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that happened as well. That was like a very interesting time. I remember that when I found out after she like fully recovered. She had chemo. She fully recovered, and I found out because I saw her in the house, and she was like fully bald. I was like, what's like, when did this happen? I was like, oh, you got chemo, whatever. I was like, oh, what the? Like, I didn't know, but
That's so
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, it's so
That's
random.
wild.
It's very weird.
So that was before your
That was, but
grandfather.
yeah, before, yeah. So that
Okay.
was, it started 2013, and they finished 2014. Like my
Okay.
mom finished 2014 for the cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I
wild.
don't know how I fully forgot about that.
That's wild.
I just remember somehow.
I want to speak about your where it did click for you. What was, so you said you just read one day.
Yeah.
What led up to that? Like you just actually spent time with God. What led up to that? Do you remember? Or was it just like
I think, you know what, I don't remember exactly when it was after, but it was, I would say maybe like or maybe like 2 weeks after my grandfather passed away. And I was just like, because we used to do Bible studies. So like me and Mark would go into his room, and me, my grandma, my grandpa and Mark would just like do like a little Bible study, and we used to do it like every other night. And then like once he passed, we kind of stopped doing it. And then I thought, you know what, like it's been a while, like I should just read. Like I don't know, there was just some urge to just read for no reason. And I kind of just, I read, I prayed, and then yeah, it just, I don't know.
do you remember what you read?
I don't know if I remember. It was like, honestly, it was like 1 a.m. or something. I was just in my bed. I was just on my phone. I was just scrolling, just reading.
It's crazy how it just clicked. Just
yeah, it just like, I don't know. I think I cried as well. I prayed and then I cried. I was like, fuck.
It usually happens.
Yeah, it's true.
When you give life to Christ, it's like the best decision you ever make.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, if you don't cry, like not out of sadness, but like actually seeing the light is something different. Like you're either gonna jump for joy or you're gonna get to your knees and cry. So it's like like one or the other that's gonna happen.
Yeah, praying is so powerful, man. Like,
what makes you say that? Why?
You know, one of the main reasons is I think you shared a sermon with me from Francis Chan, and I think the title was "The Power of Prayer" or something like that. And he said, when you're praying, you're in the presence of God. And I was like wow, like to be in the presence of God, like that's insane. Like you think of it, like all the stories in the Bible and stuff, and you're like, well, like that's insane, the presence of God. And when you're praying, you're in the presence of God as well. So that actually opened my eyes a bit as well to like praying and everything, and like the importance of prayer and all that stuff.
Yeah, prayer is
the best.
I mean,
so good.
I could speak about it for like years, but I mean, last podcast we spoke about prayer a lot. So. I'm sure I've spoken about prayer so much on this podcast, but honestly, you can't speak about it enough. It's so good.
Yeah, it's true.
I did say this to you before, but I want to go through discipling a little bit. I think it's a really cool like dynamic between me and you.
Yeah. It's very important.
Yeah, massive. Yeah. It's interesting because I was like, how old was I? 2018, you said?
2018.
So I was probably 18 or 19 years old.
Oh, yeah.
So I was pretty young, trying to start discipling.
Yeah,
discipling you that was like sort of just became a believer, or like wasn't a believer, but like also became a believer at the same time. So it was an interesting dynamic 5 years ago. I want to hear from, and I want you to be completely honest about things that helped you, things that you think like I could have done better, all this stuff. Because I'll be honest, like you could look at what I've done and be like, oh, Jonah's like selfless, all this stuff.
Right.
But honestly, it's like a lot of the times it felt like I was doing bare minimum. There were some times where I was doing like not more than I should, but more than the average person, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the times it felt like I was doing bare minimum, which is upsetting because people would see the bare minimum and be like, bro, you're doing so much. But to me, I'm like,
Yeah.
I
I know
don't
what you
feel like
mean.
that. So I want you to be completely honest with me.
Okay.
We don't have to share online if you don't want to. But what would what would you think? What do you think I did well? What do you think I could have done better? It's not like a performance review, but I want to
Yeah.
know, like, what's the best way to disciple
Right.
from your experience? Because
Right. Ooh. For me, it didn't even take much. Like, like what you did well, even just like being there, low key. Like even when I just text you and you're there, like that was enough for me. Um, yeah, just being there. What you can improve on. Let me think here. I can't really think of anything bad that you could improve on, but I know there is some things, but they're not coming to mind.
It's crazy because like this is 5 years ago, but like
Yeah.
the rules have completely changed with like
Yeah, that's true as
like
well.
hanging out and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It's a bit wild. But like this is what like you heard Marion's podcast, right? I was sharing a lot about it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, like if I wasn't able to hang out with you and all that kind of stuff, like I don't know. This isn't credit to myself, but I was saying
Right.
like I don't know where Antoun would be because
Yeah.
it seemed like he needed someone to.
That's true.
So the rules have changed. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, what if there's someone that's in a similar situation? Am I just gonna leave them out to dry and like leave as little contact as possible, or like am I gonna be intentional and not sack the rules, but like sort of bend the rules
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit?
yeah.
Like it's a tough one, and I don't want to bend the rules, but if
Yeah. It's hard now.
yeah,
It's like
it's very difficult.
I don't know why. Like it doesn't make sense. Like literally, honestly, if you weren't there to like disciple me or anything, I don't know. Yeah, I like you said, I don't know where I would be.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's not like it's not it's such a testament because it's not from who I am, but it's just like if it was anyone really, if they put in the amount of effort as I did, no matter what scenario, it's like you even said just like being there when you reply to a message. It's like a simple thing, right?
Yeah,
But like,
standard.
yeah, it's just like I think it all started from just reaching out. Like your grandpa passed away,
Yeah.
and I was like, look, he seems because everyone at the funeral was a bit older, and you were just there, like
I'm just the young
you were just like, I guess, a bit bored and like not bored, but
I know what you mean. Okay.
like you were upset, but you were also just like
I was just there.
it's like all right, let's I guess use this opportunity to build a relationship, and it's a bit weird because it was like a very low moment in your life,
Yeah.
but God used it. I know it's like it's extremely hard losing your grandfather, like who was pretty much your father.
Yeah.
Losing someone like that would have been extremely difficult, but God used that in so many different ways. Even with it's funny because your uncle and my brother, literally like what happened to us and our relationship built the same time.
Same
my
thing.
brother Roger and his uncle Mark literally had the same like
thing.
and if I ever get Mark or Roger on, I'm sure they'll tell you like Mark would give props to my brother for just being there like helping him out and stuff like that, which is it's so funny how like
it's so weird. It's
it just aligned, but like the younger one the oldest.
It's so
weird. I'll tell you what I think I did wrong in discipleship.
Okay.
I don't know if it was wrong, but I could have done better.
Right.
I think that it was being consistent. So we tried to meet up every week and do a Bible study and whatnot. Like we went to Macca's a lot of times and just
I remember that.
did a Bible study, but the consistency wasn't there. And I think, to be honest, my life, like me, genuinely isn't very like I'm not a very consistent guy, like with habits and routines, and like I struggle with keeping consistent routine or consistent life. So I think my consistency was very poor. There were times where where we were going strong, and then just all of a sudden, just like,
yeah,
no, like,
yeah, just stopped randomly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which, looking back, I wish I was sort of better at that, and I still do think
Right.
I wish I was better at that. Honestly, there are times where like I think about it and I'm like, I don't know if I did the right thing, or like it's a tough one, because there have been times where like you didn't reciprocate to what I was saying very well, or like,
Right. I know what you mean. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
do you?
Not really.
Like, was it? Well, I want to know what you're talking about.
Nah, I don't remember.
He doesn't remember. I'm so confused now. I forgot what I was saying.
Times when I
Yeah.
didn't reciprocate.
Yeah, you did.
to what you're saying.
Yeah, so like, there was times where I was like, I was being pretty like brutally honest to you. It's
Yeah.
like, and you just were silent, like literally from church to your house. You wouldn't say a word, and I'd just be like, sort of hammering into you, and you just be like, and I was like, looking back, I'm like, I don't know if that was good, because what I was saying was correct.
Yeah.
It's just like, do I say that too?
I do remember that. That happened quite often.
Yeah.
I think I actually I took it well.
But you just didn't know how to respond.
Yeah, I just didn't know how to respond.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that stuff like that, I'm just like, I have no idea what like, if that was a good thing or a negative thing. But yeah, so you can't think of anything that was like,
not really. There probably is something. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased, but I actually don't know.
oh, like you could have benefited from a bit better.
I don't really know. Maybe probably just like more of the meetups and like Bible studies. But like, I don't know. That's all I can think of really. I don't know. I'm not sure.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
what do you think I could have improved on? Oh, I done well as a student.
As a student, it's tough. I don't think there's much responsibility on the disciple. I think it's it is just I guess being willing to learn and to listen.
Right.
The thing is, in the moment, it may have not felt like you were willing to learn or to listen. Like I said, you were just quiet, and I don't know if I was like I said, what I was saying was correct, but I was like, I don't know if it was correct in the way I was saying it, or like in the time I was saying it, whatever it is, like the things that I would sort of encourage you or rebuke you on, or whatever it was. And at the time, it probably was like, Antoun's not reciprocating, he's not listening, he's not learning and all that stuff. But from what I can see is that, like, seeing who you are now, it's like something must have sort of like entered his brain. Like something must have worked, right? And again, not by the power of me, because bro, like like I said, he's more of a man than I am. Like God was definitely working. I think the outcome has been good, but like in the moment, maybe just showing that you did care a little bit more. Right. Like this to anyone, that don't take it for granted. Like
that's true.
The having someone that is completely random to you actually take time and put effort into you is crazy. And I think that was one of the biggest things I was stressing on you. It's like, I don't have to take you to your home after Bible study. I have to take you to these places, because you didn't have someone that was there to take you to places. So I was like, all right, I'll take you, I'll pick you up, I'll drop you off. And you're like 25 minutes out of the way. Like but a lot of times it would feel like you're taking advantage of that.
I was taking advantage of that.
That was one of the biggest things.
No, you're not wrong.
And then the year that I left to Port Macquarie, it was all thrown onto one person. Like all the things that I was doing with the youth. It wasn't just you, but other youth things. Other youth things, that's what I call them, youth things. Other youth kids, it was all thrown onto this one guy who, like, he wasn't like, it wasn't fair on him.
Yeah, it's
Because it
true.
was like it was all my responsibilities for like all these kids. It was
Yeah.
4 of you.
Yeah,
Four of
four
you.
or five, I think.
I think it was 4, mainly 4.
Mainly four, yeah. Sometimes
Yeah,
five.
yeah.
Sometimes.
There was four of them, and like, just I don't know. It wasn't like that was a responsibility that I took on because I wanted to take that. I was your
Yeah,
youth
yeah.
leader, but this
Yeah.
other guy wasn't officially youth leader.
Yeah.
He was close to you guys and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
like, and I was just like, man, like that's why I was, even when in Port Macquarie, I kept just telling him, like, telling you and the other boys, I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, you gotta like show him that you appreciate him, and
Yeah. It's
because
true.
otherwise it's gonna kill him. Like,
Yeah. You got dealt. you got
yeah,
dealt some bad cards.
yeah.
Me and other youth.
But to be honest, like, it's a blessing that he was there.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Like the year that I was away and learning and growing and stuff.
Mm.
That was a crazy year because
Yeah.
that year, that's when I, like, even though I was away, that's when I grew the most, and I think that's
Yeah.
when I sort of helped you guys out the most as well,
Yeah.
in certain aspects.
It was weird.
We did like a
like-
Bible study online, right?
Yeah, yeah. Ah, yes. On Zoom or Discord.
Discord, probably.
Yeah, Discord. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I think it was actually WhatsApp.
It might have been WhatsApp as well.
Yeah, it was a WhatsApp phone call.
Yeah.
And then that just sort of led into like Bible study. And
Yeah,
stuff.
Bible studies.
Yeah.
Far out.
Speaking of Bible study, I want to hear more from you. You're not speaking a lot. I'm speaking way too much.
I'm sorry.
It's
I don't know
okay.
what to say.
It's okay. From Bible studies, I led a few Bible studies and a few, few studies at youth.
Right.
For me and for anyone that's listening, what would you? I don't know if I'm going to get an answer from you, but what do you think? Like, was good from the Bible? Do you think they were good first and foremost? You're gonna have to like be honest, because it's not gonna offend me. Like, I want to actually learn about it.
The Bible, the
It's the Wednesday night.
the Wednesday ones.
Yeah, they're the main ones that I did.
They were pretty decent. It wasn't great, but it wasn't like bad either. Like, it was pretty good. Like, still learned some things and everything. I was barely there at the beginning. I only started coming like, I think like the last like 6 or 8 months of it. I wasn't there very often. But yeah, no, it was pretty good. And what was the other things you can improve on with that?
Yeah, like what did you sort of firstly enjoy about it? What do you think was good?
I like that it was kind of just like at your house. Like, everyone could just come over, just sit down, and just read the Bible, study together. Like, I don't know, it was just good vibes. It was good vibes. Yeah. I'm trying to think what you could have improved on. Maybe the preparations. I feel like you could have prepped maybe a bit more.
Yeah, I could have.
Yeah, like honestly, that's probably the main thing I would say. Maybe just preparing. A lot more. That's basically.
I think there was a study that, like, do you remember the firm foundations?
Yes.
So I think that was probably the best study that we did. That was because I think my preparations were actually decent. There was 2 studies that, what's it called? They're like the most evident to me that were actually all right. The Esther study. I don't know. Were you there for the Esther study?
I wasn't. I came after the Esther study.
After.
Yeah.
So I think the Esther study and Firm Foundations were 2 of the good studies, in my opinion. What I think worked the best. Preparing. Again, this is where my discipline and my lack of discipline comes in. All that kind of stuff, like consistency. But yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Preparations.
It's very important. I need to start doing some Bible study.
Honestly,
you started like my age.
It's true.
Maybe I should take over.
The way.
I don't know. I'll replace you.
You should. I don't know. I'm not doing anything at the moment. So what are you
That's fair.
replacing?
I don't know.
But yeah, honestly, like like I think from discipling, from my point of view,
Right.
one thing that I should work on, or like I want to push more on, is is that I want to actually push push people that I am now discipling, or like even yourself, to actually start getting into serving and
Right.
ministry
Yeah.
more, because I
Yeah.
think that changes the game. That changes, like, even at a young age, people are like, oh, he's too young to serve. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
like
Can start whenever.
he should be starting, like whether it's a
Yeah.
small thing or a big thing. Like
Yeah.
it seems like that's my strong suit. So why would I not use my strengths to?
Yeah. Yeah. I do remember. I remember. I think it was a Bible study. Maybe you were talking about, or maybe it was youth. But you were talking about discipleship. I like not discipleship. Sorry, serving, and like how important. Like, and you should be serving. Like, there's no reason for you not to be serving, whatever. And that pushed me to serve a bit more. This was at Tangabi Church. Still, I was like, I don't know. I was trying to serve anywhere I could, really, but the like, I don't know. It's still a bit hard for me because I'm just like some shy little kid.
Yeah.
But I was trying. But now Graceway, I'm starting to serve a lot more. I'm trying to
It's good.
get more out there.
Yeah, I
AV
think
team, everything.
because I forgot who I was saying this to. I was saying this to someone literally this week. But I was saying like serving. Oh, I remember. It was at the 1722 Bible study. The person I was with, I said, oh, like we need to be above reproach. Just
Right.
like, I don't know, we start talking about that.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
what does that mean? And I was just like, I was
Flashbacks.
like, it is talking to like people in like overseers and deacons and pastors and whatever you want to call them, elders. It is talking about them, but I was like, I think for everyone that is a believer,
Right.
should be above reproach. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, those are just like the rules that you need to be to be a deacon and whatnot. And I was like, this is what serving does when you are in a point of leadership. Let's say a youth leader, or you are an elder or pastor, or even on the AV team or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You have the standard is pushed higher, not just at church, but in your life. Like, you need to start actually being better. You need to start doing better. You need to start so it changes the game. It not only does it, you start serving, but it actually improve your standard. And the more you serve, like whether it's at work or at church or whatever it is, serving doesn't mean just to be at church, but it means like be a servant of God wherever you are. When you start serving, the standard gets higher and higher and higher, and the bar gets higher, but like, you're never going to go past that bar. You're never going to lower that bar. What you mean. So it's extremely important to serve, and I think it would improve your life with God massively.
I can already see it. Like, now, I just started on AV team like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Like, I can already kind of see it now. Like, there's a lot more fellowship between people, like on that with the AV team as well. Like, I don't know, it feels good to like serve as well. Like, there's something about it. It's just, I don't know, there's something with it. I can't explain it. It's like, it's something like so good. Like, it's like I don't know. It's like you're serving God. Like, I don't know. There's something there. I can't explain it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the fact that you're being involved in doing God's work. Which is
it's true.
The biggest privilege that we can have. I mean, the Bible says it is great. It is more blessed to give than it is to receive. And it says that Jesus came to serve man, not to be served, which is like, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So if we take that, sort of standpoint, it's like, it is more blessed to give than it is to receive. Then you would always want to start giving. And if you think Christ actually came to serve, like, well, I need to start serving. And it's a privilege because he doesn't need us, but he uses us anyway. Like, it's crazy. Like I said, I could have been anyone else, but God allowed me, like for in your life.
Yeah.
But God allowed me to be that person, so I can be impacted by like you, and then growing when I'm learning. Like, because think about it, if I'm discipling you and you sort of like, I can't be stagnant where I am, because you're going to start growing. Let's say you outgrow me. How am I going to start discipling you, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Like, so I need to be growing at the same time. So we're still like, I can always be able to disciple you because we're growing together.
Yeah,
I'm just a bit like ahead.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
It reminds me of there was one time you were I think it was Friday maybe. You were talking about like discipleship and everything, and you were saying everyone needs a Paul, Timothy, and a Barnabas, or like one of them, whatever.
Yeah.
And like it's very true. Like I remember when you were saying that, I was like, this makes a lot of sense. Like it's really needed. You need a Paul as the discipler.
Yeah.
The disciple, and then what is
discipler? I don't know.
The discipler, I guess. Timothy, you usually would be ourselves as the.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Okay.
Like, so I'll say we need to be each one, and we need to have each one.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, no, I remember when you were saying that, I was like,
finish the explanation of what it is, so people that don't know can know.
Timothy. What was it? The student, not the student.
Disciple.
Bro, I'm losing it.
It's okay.
And Barnabas as like a best friend that like keeps you accountable and everything as well. I remember when you did do that, it really impacted me, because I was thinking myself as Timothy mainly, to be honest, and like you're the disciple as Paul, and then I don't know, I had like some friend as Barnabas, but but I remember that, and when that happened, and like I really I allowed it, and I looked at it from a different perspective. Like it really changed. It changed a lot. Like I started learning more. So it's actually very important. Like, I don't know.
It's crazy because like for me, I think I always had like my Timothys. But I always struggled with having a Paul. I always struggled with having Barnabases and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, all you need to do is just pray on it. Like if you don't have a Timothy, if you don't have a Paul, or you don't have a Barnabas, whatever it is, like pray about it. And in my life, God has answered it like tenfold. Like like I came to this new church, and like I have so many Barnabases now, and I have new Timothys. Like I have the same Timothys, but I have new Timothys, and even like Pauls. I'm like, I have some Pauls I can go to and talk to, and it's crazy. Like it's honestly, it's like all you just need to do is just pray about it. It comes back to prayer. And
power of prayer, unbelievable.
Ooh. Prayer is wild, and discipleship is like we have 17-22. It's a new. It's a new ministry at church, where we have a few people that are older and further ahead in their faith, actively discipling. We say 17 to 22-year-olds, but it's more like people that are new to the faith, or like not as far in their faith, I guess. And I said to our pastor, I said to a few of the guys, and I was like, this is the most important ministry. It's true. Take me out of everything else. Like this is the most important ministry, because discipling is what will, because you have accountability from someone, whatever, like whoever you are in that situation, whether you are the disciple or the discipler or whatever it is, you have someone that is keeping you accountable, even if they're not actively. But like I said before, if I'm discipling someone, I need to I need to be above reproach. I need to start like actually improving my life and getting close to God and all that kind of stuff. Discipling is massive.
It's so important. It's actually unbelievable.
We'll take a photo now.
Yes,
and then
we'll take a photo.
So if you don't know,
I
have a Polaroid camera.
I know about the camera.
whoever's watching. We have a Polaroid camera, and we have behind Antoun, we have a bunch of Polaroid photos. And Antoun will take a picture, and he will sign it, and he will put it up. So we'll just take like a 1 minute break of just doing this.
Which button do I click to take the photo? The
The
red
red,
one?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense. All right.
I would say don't put it too close to your face,
Okay.
because if you look this, it's just like at Marcus says.
The flash reflecting off the mirror as well.
Yeah, also that.
Yeah.
So
All right, cool.
you lead me.
Ooh. I don't get this close to my face.
Oh, I think I blinked.
My eyes.
My eyes. Yeah, I'll do it.
What?
I'll do it.
So
My
confused.
eyes.
My eyes.
Oh.
True.
Oopsies. All right. I was gonna say something before we took the photo, and then I fully forgot.
Oh, no.
How good. Fully forgot. That's not good.
No, it's not.
I don't know. I'll just start waffling about something else then. I know I have spoken a lot this episode, but
Yeah. I mean, you got to carry for me. I barely speak.
that's okay. Look, Antoun is a very quiet guy.
I like to observe. I don't like
Yeah.
to speak.
And it's like you're still very young. Like you're still 18.
Yeah.
And the next few years when there's going to be like a lot of growing and learning.
Yeah.
And
It's true.
if this podcast is still going in 5 years, then we'll have you on again.
I'll have it again, yeah.
When you're my
Inshallah.
age. Wait,
Yeah.
am I 6 years older than you?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you're old, man. You're getting up there.
For some reason I thought I was 5 years, but I'm 6 years older than
Yeah,
you.
you're 6 years. I like 5.5, but 6 years. I guess.
No, five
Actually,
years and
wait,
11
yeah,
months.
that's true.
6 years.
Forget your July.
Yeah. But that was good. I forgot what I was going to say. It's annoying.
The funny thing is, when this podcast ends, you're gonna remember.
Probably.
Yeah, and then we'll never get released.
Bro, you know, that happened to me. That happened to me with Marcus, the last podcast. I was actually like, I was listening to it back,
Yeah.
and I was about to say something in the podcast, and I was like, man, like, no. When I listened to it back, I sort of know what I'm gonna say. I know
Right.
I literally said it already, but like I know what I'm gonna say, even if it's a few days later, like because I'll say the same things now,
Yeah.
right? And then there was one thing that he said, and then I was responding, and I even said to Mom, I'm like, I'm gonna say this to Mom,
Yeah.
and then I didn't say it, and I was like, I forgot what I was gonna say back then, but now I know what I was gonna say. I wish I said it.
Yeah.
It's,
That happens to me so much. It's so
it's
annoying.
crazy. I forgot what I was going to say, but is there
Okay.
anything that you wanted to touch on before we get into the ending bits
The
of the
ending.
podcast?
Ooh. Not really.
Good chats.
I don't think there's anything.
Okay.
Nah, I don't think there's anything. Find a good church. Find a Paul and a Barnabas and a Timothy. That's basically I don't know.
Is that your advice? Because
Yeah, that's my advice.
I haven't reached that part yet, but
Yeah, I know. I kind of skipped ahead.
I was gonna say, how long we're going for an hour? It's a short episode.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, but you've
haven't-
lived a short life, so
I haven't sure, that's true.
you've lived pretty intense lives, but
Short but intense.
excited to see sort of where you end up and all that kind of stuff.
Hopefully.
I don't know what's going to happen with the podcast in general. I'll say this to you guys.
Oh, yeah.
I am leaving to Mongolia. Hopefully I have one episode before I leave, but I will say all of September, I'm going to say this to you guys now, all of September is going to be, or like, not all of September. When will it be? It will be, let me get
The dates.
I'm going to have 4 weeks break because I am going to Mongolia. So the 4th, I'm hoping to have an episode, 4th of September. But from the 11th of September to 9th of October, no, to the 2nd of October, there'll be nothing. I'm sure we'll get more information, but
Yeah.
the 9th of October will be
Nothing.
the first episode of season 2,
Oh,
which
spoilers.
is which is cool. I'm hoping to have 20 episodes in season 1. That's why we need one more episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what's happening, but I am going to Mongolia, so I think Jeanette will probably be in charge of the socials and all that kind of stuff. To end off, I want to hear your advice.
More than what I said already.
Yeah.
Okay. Advice. Like general or Christian perspective, like Christian
Anything.
kind of advice. Okay. I have a lot to say. Trust in the Lord. Honestly, that's literally it. Just trust in the Lord. Like that's actually all you need. But the verse, like the verse of this week, like Romans. So we do at Grace, we someone picks a verse every week and we all memorize it for the week. Today, on Monday, I picked Romans 8:32, and like he will not spare his he who did not spare his son, but gave him up for us all. How will he not also with him graciously give us all things? That is crazy. Like, how will he not give us all things? So when I think of that verse, like, and all the worries I have and everything, it kind of just disappears. Like, he'll give us all things. Like, even if, like, for us, we see it, like, and we want something but we don't get it, like, he knows better. So, like, just trust in God. That's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm so awkward.
No, you're not awkward. You're just a man of few words.
Yeah, that's true.
That's okay. Look, I was the most socially awkward and shy kid. So like I still am very awkward, but I'm less shy, so which is good. Look, yeah, you're still young, right? You literally have the world ahead of you.
Yeah, that's true.
You're doing better than I was at 16, 18. So yeah,
That's fair.
Don't be hard on yourself.
I'm pretty hard on myself. I can't lie.
Look, I've been hard on myself, but it doesn't pay off. Yeah, thank you all for listening. Thank you, Antoun, for hopping on.
You.
Well, the thing's definitely not ready, but
probably not.
We'll show you. We'll show the camera after. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Just keep an eye on Instagram and all that kind of stuff for any updates on the podcast. Yeah. We're not ending; we're just having a break. But hopefully, there's going to be an episode. I have 3 days to record an episode, another one, and I don't have a guest yet. So, fingers crossed.
Someone hit him up.
Yeah, I had someone. So, funny story. I was supposed to leave Thursday. Like I thought I was leaving Thursday night to Mongolia. I'm leaving Wednesday night, and I had a podcast scheduled for Wednesday night. But yeah, that's not happening. Because they said 31st of August to September 13th. Right. I leave the 30th of August, come back 14th of September.
There you go.
So yeah. Anyway,
that makes sense.
Relevant points. But yeah, thank you all for watching.
Thank you for listening, everybody. To me barely speaking.
Yeah, I did speak a lot, but it's okay. We'll show the photo afterwards and him putting it up and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I will see you guys later and peace.
Bye-bye.
All right, we are back.
We are back.
This is the photo, everybody. I'll show you.
Look at that face, dude.
I forgot you didn't sign it yet.
But... Yeah, I'll sign it now. I got the marker ready.
Marco Royce,
nice.
He picked red.
Yeah, my favorite color.
Ooh.
What do I say?
I don't know.
Sarah just wrote her name. Sarah, you're lame, dude.
By the way, Antoun is Sarah's cousin.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that's fun.
Fun fact. favorite verse, and then
It says Romans 14:8.
that's a heart.
That's not a heart, bro.
It's a heart.
That is not a heart.
It's a
Thank
heart,
you, Joe.
dude.
This is not a heart.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. How'd that come out?
All right, I guess all disaster just struck. That is a heart. It's a 4 though. It's not a 3, because you know how it's like usually the thing and then 3. It's 4 because it's more than a heart. You get me?
I don't know. What just happened to this mic?
I don't know. Bro.
This is a disaster. If you have a look, what's going on? Anyway,
What on
thank you
earth?
for watching. Chaos ensued.
Wow.